Hi, I'm George, TSG's Open Content Product Manager. In this demo, I'm going to demonstrate the Capture 2.0 administration components within the OCMS admin. So here I am in the Capture admin section of OCMS admin, and what I'm going to do is create a new Capture template for invoices. So the first thing, I'm going to pick my object type, which is just AP invoice, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new template. So I'll just call this one example invoice, and then we need to pick a file to use as our sample invoice. So I'll just choose one of these Acme invoices here and continue. So now the first thing we need to do is choose what we want to use as our fingerprint attribute. Essentially, when making suggestions on invoices in the future, what attribute can we use to narrow down the scope to find similar documents to be able to pull data from those documents? So for invoices, this is kind of obvious, is that we would just use the vendor. Basically saying that any invoice from Acme is going to look generally similar, and we can use that to guide our suggestions in the future. And other vendors would narrow down to invoices with that particular vendor. So now with that selected, we are going to set up our extraction rules. And there's two modes to these extraction rules, and let's just do invoice number as our first example here. And when we're setting this up, there's sort of these two approaches. Zonal is essentially more used in reporting, or the scenario where, maybe for a report, the report number is always in the top right corner in a certain general area. We can essentially say, look in that area, pull text from that area to populate this attribute. But for invoices, we don't want to do that. We want to use the key value approach. So that's what we're going to do here. And for invoice number, we basically are saying, where are we going to find this on the page? And we're going to look for a certain key and then pull the value that comes after it. So for invoice number in this example, we're just going to draw a box here around the key. So that is where my key is, and say to capture that. And we can also click that show button to kind of zoom in to where it is finding the key. And then we can just do the same thing for the value. So I'll capture that. And then we can also give this invoice number aliases. So, what do different vendors call invoice number? There's actually a lot of different values that can be put in here, but I'll just put in a few. So we'll say like invoice number, maybe invoice pound, and go from there. So now we're going to set up another one, and rather than invoice number, we'll set up invoice date and just really do the same thing. So we will zoom in here and find our label for the invoice date and make sure that looks okay. And then we're just going to do the same thing for the value. And I'll add a few aliases. And go ahead and save that one. Now the last one that I'm going to set up here, at least in the video, is for the amount. So the amount field is coming from the total down here. So we'll just kind of do the same thing that were previously doing and grab total. And grab the total value. And again, add some alias values. Outside of this video, I think in prep for the next one, I'm going to add some more, but just in the interest of time. They're really kind of the same thing, but I am also going to set up alias values for due date as well as PO number. so that those can be extracted as well. Once I'm done here, I'm just going to go ahead and save and then publish this to our suggestion engine, which will then use it for suggestions when processing invoices in the indexer. Well, that's it for this short demo of the OCMS Capture Admin. Check out the next video in this series where we are going to process invoices that use this template, and we'll see how they can pull values based on the key value pairs that we set up, as well as learn over time using machine learning. Thanks for watching.